dance with me.
That's pretty
And
neat.
she'd make us pretty little evening dresses, you know, to wear. But she always sewed and made our own clothes.
Okay,
She
so
was a
y'all,
good seamstress.
so that was, y'all weren't out in the country somewhere. This is in the, so that was
This
considered
was
in the
it.
city.
Yeah, we lived in kind of outskirts of town.
Yeah, okay.
I've never been a country girl. I don't know what it is, milk a cow. I do remember Mama having chickens in the yard. And I remember that on Sundays, she always cooked 2 chickens. She'd take 2 of them and wring their necks, put them under a wash tub because they jump real bad after you wrung their neck. And she'd clean those chickens and fry them, and then she'd make gravy and biscuits, and we'd have a good vegetable of some kind, you know. And she always made good pies and cobblers and stuff. And so I can always remember we had good food. And she, and everybody seemed so happy that when Daddy left, it shocked us because we wasn't expecting it. They always seemed like they got along so well. Well, after Daddy, oh, and I forgot to tell you, my daddy got rich. He invented the hose protector on the fire extinguisher because he worked for the fire department and got it patented, and he got a lot of money for it.
Wow, the hose protector.
And after that, that's when he left Mother, right when he got all the money. He left her, and then he married this other woman. They moved to Houston. They had a big summer home in Galveston, and things were great.
Well, that must have
But
been
then
before
it
they
left
had
Mother there with 3 children.
That's way before they had the laws they got today.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Because you wouldn't have done that today.
But
Um,
I remember after I was about 13, it wasn't long after they were divorced and he remarried. I was growing up and I was getting a handful from Mother, and so she decided that she would send me to Daddy and let me stay for a year and see if he could handle me.
uh-huh.
So I went to Houston, Texas, and I lived with my daddy for a year. And I went to school over there. And then I remember I was about 15 years old. He decided he'd send me back to Mama because I was dating, and he told me not to, and I'd sneak out. Then he finally let me have a date, and this boy come to the house, and he tooted the horn. He comes to the front door, and he says, if you can't walk up to the door and ask for my daughter like you're supposed to, she's not going out with you. So he come up to the door and apologized and introduced himself, and he let me go off with him. And when I
Sounds
was
like
about,
he had his priorities right.
yeah,
Yeah.
when I was about 15, he told me, he says, you got to go back to your mama, and I'm going to take Louis and Mamie for a while. So he took me at Louis and Mamie after they got over there, and then I went back to Mama's. And then that's when I finally met my first husband, and I married when I was 16 years old.
My goodness.
Comes in the family.
Uh-huh. What kind of things did y'all do for entertainment as a family or with kids then?
Oh, we had fun. We'd fix a big old picnic lunch, and we'd go up to the park by the pavilion on the beach and go swimming and have picnics, and they had a little zoo there. And a lot of times we'd get in the car and ride over to Bogalusa, see Grandma. And one time we went to Memphis to meet somebody my daddy had stayed with after his dad died, and Grandma went kind of nuts or something after he died, and they had to put her in a place for a while. And so he stayed with this man, and we went to visit him. And one time we went over and saw his sister that lived in Jackson, Mississippi, and she was married to the superintendent of the schools over there. And I used to hate to see her coming on vacation time because she kept me in school on my vacation. Because I was not doing that well in school. I wasn't A and B like Mamie was. And I used to hate to see her coming because she always was tutoring me about things. But Daddy, he had a college education. Mama didn't. And I remember at mealtime, he didn't allow paper plates and stuff at his table. He wanted the table set in the dining room and everything proper. One night he come home and Mama was she was in a hurry because she was going to go to a PTA meeting that was important to her for some reason or other. And she had some stuff put out on the table he wasn't satisfied with. He jerked the whole tablecloth off with food and all in the floor. That's how he was. And very neat man. Too neat sometimes.
I missed out on that one.
Well, he was. I mean, he always, if you ever seen a picture of him without a suit on,
I hadn't seen him about 3 or 4 times my whole life.
no. He was a good looking man. He really was.
When
Plus
did
it was
when did your parents pass away?
Well, Mother was murdered. And she passed away in 1967.
69.
67.
The year before mine was, or the year after? It was one or the other.
It was after Camille, 1969.
No, it wasn't. No, Camille came after she died.
I could have swore 69, but it may be 67.
It was right after me and Bill was married. 'Cause we wasn't married any time when she died.
Yeah.
But Daddy died, I guess about 4 years before she did. And he died when he was 64. Mama died when she was 64. But before he died, Lorraine had put him in this home. And Louis went over there and he didn't like the way he was being treated at the home. Because Daddy had enough money, he should have been put in a better place, he said. And he didn't like the way they was doing, so he just takes him up out of the hospital and brings him home without permission. Brought him over to Gulfport. Boy, he got in trouble with that. But he died here in Gulfport after Louis brought him back over here. Because he had gotten sick. And I think he died with stomach cancer. But Mama, she was, she was beat with a hammer. And she lived 17 days after that, but they never did find out who did it. They interrogated the whole family, never did find out anything. And of course, Rusty and all of you were little, y'all came over. And you don't remember it because I guess you were too
not
little.
born yet.
No, Michael.
Michael.
Yeah.
That's right. Michael's born in
66.
6. That's right. It was 67 because it was a year after. I know he was a year old. I remember hearing that for some reason.
But it broke our heart because that was a terrible way to go.
Yeah, especially at 64.
Yeah. And it was on her birthday.
I mean, anyway, anytime,
it was
I
March
guess it is,
the
isn't it?
7th.
Yeah, it was her birthday.
And it was on her birthday when they did that to her. They went out, and she always had a delivery truck she brought home from her business because she owned a grocery store and a warehouse that was across the street. And so she always brought her delivery truck at home at night. And she always told all of her customers, says, don't come and bother me at night because I'm not going to open the door for you or do anything. So whoever killed Mother knew her real well because she opened the back door and it looks like she was going to let somebody have some gas from her, siphon some gas from her truck into the car. Because the the bottle cap was open off of the gas tank, and the first pool of blood was right there at her truck. Second pool of blood was over where she's trying to run from them, was over at her bathroom, the outside part of her bathroom. The third puddle was around the house near her bedroom window, and from there you could see where they drug her off into the woods. And of course, Tinker came home that night, and he saw the back door open. He said, "Nancy, don't get out of the car. Something's not right here," because there was a dog barking in the yard. And he got out of the car, and he saw the blood by the delivery truck. He said, "Nancy, please don't get out of that car. Stay there. Something's wrong." And he said, "My 2 boys is in that house." They had left him asleep. Nancy had to go to New Orleans and pick Tinker up because he was working on an oil rig out of New Orleans in the Gulf. And it was time for him to be home for a while.
Raised the bed up.
So he, Rusty's probably sitting on. It's right there. See that cord going up? Is it going up? But anyway, when he got out of the car, the first thing he did after he saw that blood, he run into the house to see if his children was all right, and both of them was sound asleep in their bed, because Tinker and them were living with Mama then. And then he went back outside, and he followed where they had drug her, and he found her laying out in the woods past the garden. And he called 911 and got the police out there, you know. And even when we got there, we still found things. The police did not investigate that right, because some of her teeth was still laying in the grass. And they hadn't even picked them up. Her glasses were still laying there. I can't understand it. That was a puzzle about that whole thing.
Even the hammer with.
Yeah, and I found the hammer laying against, we went out there searching, you know. We're trying to find some kind of weapon, because we knew she'd been beaten her head. And had a big hole back there by her neck and all. So I found the hammer laying on the, you know how they make the rows in a garden like that? And it was laying beside a row in the garden, thrown down, and her hair and blood was still all over it. So we put it in a big old envelope, touched it at, you know, at the end so that if there's any fingerprints, and we sent it to the police by Lewis. The police said they couldn't find nothing on the hammer, that it was clean. So of course for years we talked about it, trying to solve it, but we never did. So whoever did it to Mama got away with it.
They threatened you too, didn't they?
Yeah, they threatened Aunt Bertha. Come up there and told them that if she didn't quit investigating, that left her a note on the door. They come in one night while she was at church and knocked Uncle J.D. down. Uncle J.D. said they had something over their face and he couldn't see what they looked like. And said, "You tell your wife this is a warning to her. If she don't get out of this, she's going to be gone just like like her sister is." So what we think really happened, Mother told us that some bootleggers had been trying to buy a whole bunch of sugar from her because she had it in the warehouse. And she said she refused to sell it to him. She says, "I can't do it because I'll get in trouble." She says, "I have to let them know where everything goes." And we all think that was connected, and evidently the police must have been in with it too, or they wouldn't have let everything go like they did. But we'll never know.
Well, I guess we'll go a different route. It's getting sad.
Yep.
Do you remember your grandparents?
I remember my grandma, but my granddaddy died when I was a baby, and I don't remember him. He was a Baptist preacher.
That was your mom or
Pitts.
dad? Oh, your
Mom.
mother.
Oh, yeah, daddy was dead.
Okay, so your
Yes.
dad was Pitts and your
Yeah,
mom
daddy was Pitts.
busted. Okay.
Mama was busted. And I can remember Grandma Pitts. I can't remember her name though, because all I ever called her was Grandma, and I can't remember. And they